Hi everyone, my name is Sonia and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a tutorial on my go-to glam for nights out or events and stuff. It's an updated one because I do have an older video from a year or two ago on my channel of how I used to do my go-to glam, and I just don't really do those types of looks as much anymore. This is a lot quicker. I found a now like staple palette that I use every time. I know I can easily create this look in under half an hour. So yeah, I won't keep talking for too long and I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see all the stuff I'm doing on my eyeballs. Alright, so I'm very up close and personal. As you can see, my eyes are already primed. I used the P. Louise base in shade 0.05 or 0.5. It's very light. So the palette that I'm going to be using today is the Natasha Denona Gold palette. It's a very expensive palette, but it's I think it was worth the money. I use this palette every single time I have an event or if I'm going out with my girlfriends or whatever. This is my favorite look to do. I do the same look pretty much every time I use this palette. I know it's a safe look and it's very glam, it's very pretty, it's very shiny. So the color story of this palette is really neutral with like 2 pops of green, and there's like this duochrome that's like white but also green but also gold. I don't own a lot of very neutral palettes, so this really is my go-to palette when I have to do makeup where I can't wear bright ass colors, I guess. So this palette does retail for $129, which is a lot, but it's the only neutral palette that I, use a lot, so that's why I think it's worth it. Anyway, I'm just rambling now, so I'm gonna pat out my primer that's now creased because I have my contact moved. Because I have hooded eyes, so my primer does tend to crease if I don't touch it whatever, if I don't set it. So for this eye look, I tend to only use 3 brushes. I have one packing brush. This is my clean one today. This is by BH Cosmetics, the 112. I have one brush that I use to cut my crease, and a fluffy blending brush. This is from Coastal Scents, the BR250. So the first thing I like to do is I take this shade, which is called Aria, and I kind of just set my base. I bring it up like almost to my eye, like my brow bone, and I just blend it back and forth until it's blended. So I have that shade Aria, how I want it looking. I don't know if you can tell, but I kind of packed on a little bit of the color on my outer V over here, so it's a little heavier out here. So now that Aria is how I want it looking, I go into the shade down here that's called Teak, and I kind of push it into my outer V and then blend it in with Aria just a little bit lower. And I'm using the same blending brush as before. So now that I have Teak placed where I want it to be, I go back into the shade Aria and I go over the edges a little bit just to blend the 2 colors together better. So now that I have Aria and Teak looking how I want them to look, I go in with a very, very light hand into the shade Log. Like literally, when I say light hand, I mean. And that little bit of powder that I just got on there, tab it off so I get the excess off, and I push it into the outer V. And I only take that little tiny amount because that shade is very pigmented and it's very dark, and it can take my look it just turns the look really dark really fast if you make any wrong moves. So now that I have that like kind of pushed into where I want it, even lower than the other two shades, I start blending it in towards my inner corner. And now that that's like placed in there, since there's not a lot, I didn't put a lot on it, it's a little bit patchy, but I'm going back into the original Aria shade, the first shade, and I'm just gonna blend that on top of all of those colors so that they all just kind of blend together. Alright, so I'm back. My camera battery died, and while it was charging, I just caught up my other eye to what I was doing. So now that I have my browns down, like how I want them to look, they're like the right amount of smoky that I want it at, I'm gonna go ahead and cut my crease like halfway, right to the middle. Alright, so I cut my crease using the P. Louise base, and I'm gonna go ahead and set that with the beautiful, beautiful gold shade in the palette that's called Brass. This is my favorite gold shade I think ever. Like, I don't have anything like this in my collection. It is so stunning and has like so much texture, and it's just beautiful. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up with a regular brush and pack it on. Alright, so now that I have both of my eyes cut, I like to go in and take that same shadow with my finger and like press it over there just to give it like even more texture and more dimension into my eye look. I think this Brass shade in this palette might be the first eyeshadow that I ever hit pan, and I'm so excited. So now that I'm done with the shimmer, I like to go back in with the original blending brush and back into this teak shade and just kind of re-push it into my outer V, blend it in with the shimmer. Alright, so this is it for the eye look. I need to finish it up and add my lashes. Sometimes I do winged liner with this look, but I think like other times it looks just as beautiful just with lashes on. So I'm gonna go in with the Koko lashes in the style Amore, and I'll be right back. Alright you guys, so I popped on my lashes and I put on my lip, which is a combination of Jeffree Star Cosmetics Posh Spice and MAC Blankety layered on top. And this is my final look. This is what I look like pretty much every time I go out, anytime I have an event that I have to go to or anything. This is my favorite look. This is what I feel most confident in and prettiest in. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. If you have any requests of things you would like to see from me, also leave that down below. I'll happily do that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!